Keith Anderson. Just volunteer out at Maranatha Bible Camp and came on full-time a little later this year and am in charge of security now. Well, I've always grown up in a Christian home, but it was ever increasingly in my maturity that he became more influential to the choices I made and how my walk with him and faith and just the trust that he will be there through the hard decisions. How has God shown up for me? Mainly in redefining what it meant to be a man in Christ, especially in this modern society where we had all these lists and rules of what you should be as a man in Christ, or just in general in the world. And the Christ has really shown up in my life of breaking the stereotypes of what it means to be a man, and the strength to be bold in the choices of living out a disciple life, and just focusing on his definition of a man and not society's. What challenges has he helped me overcome? The main thing is kind of linking back to the same one, where it was just when society tells you to answer or deal with something in a certain way, that Christ has a different set of standards that we are to follow and be an example of, in living in a way that would model Christ. How am I expecting Christ to show up for me in the future? Just keeping me ever more growing in him and his truth, to make sure that I lead a truthful following of him, modeling his teachings and not my own, not what society expects of us, and just being someone that would be a good model for just the Christian walk and just what it means to be a man of Christ. A specific way of where I've seen God really show up has been in my recent life, where I was just stuck in the 9 to 5, even though it was about 80 hours a week. And that was where I just felt such a distance in my actual schedule, saying that Christ was a big part of my life, but my schedule showing something else. My priorities were way off from what I was actually trying to say I lived out. And the conviction came across that I needed to become a actual follower of what I'm trying to preach to people. And when I dove headfirst into the unknown of living fully trusting in his provisions, he's pulled through in ways that are just amazing, for the opportunity to really live out his provisions, his daily bread, that he keeps you going through the hard times, and just gives you the strength for the next day to just continue to live out what he expects of us.